So, I got home yesterday. I got home yesterday evening, afternoon, around 2 o'clock or so. And I got bathed and I got dressed, dressed for the evening. I put pyjamas on. Well, I'm still wearing them from last night. And I was so tired. A friend asked me to do a little bit of artwork for their project. So I ended up doing that as well last night. And by the time it got to the evening, and we had dinner. I was just so exhausted. I was going to do all this yesterday, but even now I'm still so tired. I was supposed to go to the dentist today, but that had to be cancelled because I'm so chronically ill and fatigue. It's just not good fun. So let's start off with the travelling home on the train. It was pretty much the same as getting there. It was very rockety. It wasn't as bad as getting there. It was a little bit more smoother, but it wasn't the best it's ever been. I mean, luckily it was a nice quick train home, but there's nothing really more to say about that. I was in a little bit of pain. Probably didn't help that I didn't feel well for most of it because of literally feeling really chronically ill and tired and just everything. I felt quite depressed on the way home. Because I think it's just the fact of the weekend's just gone already. It's gone really quickly. Didn't like the fact I was just going home. I mean, I'm feeling a little bit better today in myself, but not 100%. I'm still very ill in that kind of sense. So yeah, that was travelling home. So let's talk. I talked about Friday. I talked about ghost stories and how great it is. But so let's go on about Saturday. Let's talk about Saturday as a general. What did I do? I did the Jack the Ripper Museum, and let's talk about that. Okay. So we got told it was 5 floors worth of museum, and each one tells a different story and so on and so forth. And you go into the first room, and there's nothing in it. I'm not saying there's absolutely nothing, but it's just like a little scene of Victorian London, where you see a dead woman on the floor. Well, it's a waxwork, obviously. A waxwork of a dead woman on the floor, waxwork of a policeman. He's looking at her. You see the rest of the room. There's a little boy in the corner, which is fairly creepy if you didn't know that was there. But he's selling papers, don't worry. I'm so tired. But yeah, there's that. There isn't much information. I think there might be one thing on the wall, and that was about it. So that's that. As soon as you go in, you look around, and you go straight up to floor 2. Floor 2 is basically what might have been Jack the Ripper's front room, and basically all it is a basic Victorian front room, but smaller. That's all it is. It's literally a Victorian front room. There's some genuine Victorian artefacts in there that you're not allowed to touch, some that you can touch and put on, and so on and so forth. And it's all really lovely. You can go through all the books and papers and stuff. But again, there's no like physical storytelling like you would have in a museum. There's no like actual placards what you would sit and properly read and get information off and get actual physical education of. Again, I was just like, it's just nice to walk around, and just look at things. I suppose you're pretty much paying to look at things. And then, well, I guess that's what a museum is, but still. Third room of floor is a police officer's room. It's a police station, so yeah, Victorian police station, and they've got a load more papers and stuff that you can look at, and actual letters from Jack the Ripper, and so which is really cool. That's the cool bit. I like the actual letters from Jack the Ripper. That is very cool and very intense thing to actually own. It's not copies. And again, you're not allowed to touch certain things. However, I ended up playing with the typewriter. It didn't say you can't touch the typewriter, so we're not going there. But yeah, there's another waxwork in there of a Victorian policeman, just in case we didn't know what a man looked like. So yeah, that's that. Then there's the fall from upstairs again, but again, if you can't do the stairs, there is a lift, where it's just a Victorian bedroom, but like of a poor person's Victorian bedroom. It says this is what a bedroom of what the women's bedroom might have looked like. Again, it's not genuine and it's not factual. It's what they might have looked like in those bedrooms. And again, there's a little bits of information about some of the women in there. Just some bits on the wall. It's not fabulous, I would say, like the information wise. I mean, it's a nice little museum if you want to go for a little while, and if you're a big enthusiast like that, if you know, or if you're a kid, I think it's more, I wouldn't say it's aimed at children, but it's kind of aimed at tourists and maybe people who are starting out. But I mean, for me, I'm a big Victorian nerd, big magic nerd like Houdini, and so I know Houdini's got nothing to do with Jack the Ripper, but it's still in that realm and stuff. I wouldn't say I'm a big Ripper fan, but I'm quite interested. I'm someone who's done a little bit of research and who's fairly interested. If you're a tourist, like from abroad, because there was a group of women also there who are from America, and they've not been to England before. So if you're from abroad and you've not been to England before, I think that's what it's more aimed at. It's more aimed at the people who don't have a clue and just there for like the monument, like for the iconic, you know, Jack the Ripper, and same goes to the Sherlock Holmes Museum because it's the iconicness of Sherlock Holmes and his stories and so on and so forth. And even though Sherlock Holmes isn't a real person, there's still a museum for him. Because there is. And the fifth room / floor is downstairs. It's in the basement and it's the mortuary. And I didn't take any photos of this or video it because it does say on the door no one under 16 should go in there because it's supposedly quite intense. The only reason... Well, when you go in, it's just a Victorian mortuary. There's the drawers on the wall that slide out, but they don't slide out because it's not a real mortuary, obviously. There's a mortuary slab in the middle of the room. And around the room there are some pictures of the women that Jack the Ripper killed, and like some descriptions of what happened to their bodies and like what mutations were on their body, like what organs were removed and so on and so forth. And that was it. Apart from that, there was nothing too intense about it, apart from the smell. And obviously, you know, the smell wasn't the smell of real dead people dying, and if it was, I hope not. However, yeah, the smell was obviously a special effect. I can't think of the proper word for it. Scent bomb? No. Scent machine. I can't think of the word at the moment. I've got a lot of brain fog, so I'm just doing this. I've pretty much only just woke up. It's like I woke up about half an hour ago, and that's to me is just about getting up. It's getting on for 1 now, so I'm still very tired. And I actually went to bed early. I went to bed about 11, which is early for me, so I'm still really tired. That's the whole point of chronic fatigue. Sleep all day, still don't wake up. But yeah, the room just stank. I couldn't be in there for too long. It was horrid. It was really, really grim and grotesque. Like, to there was no warning of smell either. And in all fairness, that was the smelliest room I've been in when it cut in terms of special effects for horror, like places. You know, I've been to the London Dungeons, I've been to the London Tombs, I've been to the London Bridge Experience. I mean, the London Tombs and Bridge Experience are the same thing anyway, but it's two different attractions all in one, but you get the general idea. I've done scare events, I've done scare mazes, and I've never been in a room that stank that badly. I mean, some horror events and experiences do have scent bomb, like smell machines or whatever you want to call it in there. Scent pods. That's the word. It's called a pod. They're called scent pods. Oh my god, I'm sorry. A lot of places do have scent pods, but it's usually not that bad. And that was really poignant. Like, you could literally just open the door and we gagged. It was really, really awful. That kind of did stick with me until I went outside. It was vile. I wouldn't want to, if I went back, I wouldn't want to do basement again. And I don't recommend the basement for anyone who's got like serious asthma or serious allergies or very, very serious like sensory issues or can't deal with anything that's just all of a sudden. That's a big no-go. I mean, and another thing, their lift is kind of temperamental. We got down to the basement, but it wouldn't go back up. It just would not go back up to ground floor, or, like, at all. So we ended up going up steps, like I say steps like if it was bad, but like, it was a fair amount of steps that did put me in a lot of pain, which was not fair on me, considering I had a long day Saturday. It was, yeah. So that was the Jack the Ripper. Again, accessibility wise, it was alright. I mean, it could have been worse. The floors were quite good. There was nothing inaccessible about it. I walked around quite easily. I didn't slip. There was no cobbles with it at all. Like, it was alright. It was done well. The lady who served us was really, really lovely. I didn't get her name, but shout out to the lady who worked in the shop. She was really nice. After I got up the steps, she was like, oh, I'm so sorry about the lift and so on. But she gave me her chair so I could sit down and rest for a little while. So that was really lovely. The shop's really nice. I was expecting a little gift shop, and it wasn't only a little gift shop. But I was expecting like 2 or 3 items, like branded things to the museum, like pencils and pens and stuff, or a notepad. But I wasn't expecting what they had. They had quite a lot of really decent things for a gift shop of that museum, like with that museum of that smaller size. Had a lot of books and such, some things that you could probably get online and elsewhere, but it was just really nice that they had things stocked up, and you know that the prices were quite reasonable too. I would actually go back to the gift shop and buy their t-shirts. They were really, really lovely. And they had their own Jack the Ripper bears, which were really cute, so that was quite nice. But obviously their own merchandise is more expensive than, you know, everything else, because again it's their own merchandise and they have to go and get made up. So that was Jack the Ripper. Was it okay between me and Mum, i.e. my carer? We only paid £12 because we only pay for the one person, because which is again really, really good. Some places do carers for free, which, you know, they all should, but some places that are independent and are small businesses, they don't usually do the carers for free because they're like, oh, we've got to make our own money, and which is fair enough, because if they're not busy, then of course they've got to make money, which is fair enough. Here again, we paid £12 altogether, so therefore it had been £6 each. Was it worth £12? It's hard to say. If you're kind of new to it all, if you're a tourist, then yeah, £12 if you're disabled, yeah, that's fine, it's great. If you've just got a little money spare over, or you've just got some time to kill, then yeah, go for it. But as a general, if you're already a fan of like the Victorian era and Jack the Ripper, I would say if you're interested in all that kind of thing as a general, then go just to say you've gone, but it's not worth going back and you're not really gonna learn much from it, you know. There's nothing new there that we don't already know from like a documentary or whatever books and so on. I guess if you want to read into it, you can. But yeah, I suppose I would say £6 to £8 would be a nice, reasonable price for what it is, and plus a little that would cover compensation if the lift doesn't work. I mean, yay. But yeah, overall, it's a very nice, sweet little place. And for anyone who's a bit of a nerd, like a big League of Gentlemen nerd, there is a shop next door called the Local Shop. And I had to take a photo of the sign. I just could not pass the local shop without taking a photo. So yeah, if you want to go just to see the local shop because you were that much of a big League fan, then go for it, you know. There should be a local shop tour, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of shops around the UK and possibly around the world just literally just called the Local Shop or Local Shop. And all the locals should just go to every shop that's called the Local Shop. That'd be amazing. But yeah, that off topic. Go back on topic of Jack the Ripper. I would say, as an overall experience, a good 3 stars. Accessibility wise, 4 stars. I would give him 5 stars if it weren't for the lift breaking down. Plus, there weren't any toilets, so if you needed to go. Also, basement is a big no-go if you've got bad sensory issues. Big no-go. Or if you're asthmatic, and plus there isn't any warning for that. So that's a bit unsettling. But yeah, that's all I can say about that.